All right, welcome back. So in the last video, we learned that we have to slightly look for a long tail keyword right now, kind of a derivative of the broad keyword, which was how to make coffee. So how are you going to do that? Well, we're going to come back to the keyword planner. All right, so I'm going to click on this, and once it signs me in, this time, if you remember the tab on the left, right? So last time we used it just to see what was the search volume. But we can also click on this discover new keyword, and this is something I'll also be revisiting later on. Remember I told you this is good for keyword research when it comes to getting ideas, right? So we're actually doing that right now also, but later on when I dedicatedly show you how to get ideas, there are a lot of different ways to use this tool. Right now I'm just showing you just by using a keyword. Okay, you can use things like your websites and other things which I'll talk about later. But right now what we are interested is finding derivatives of our broad keyword, which is how to make coffee. So I'm simply going to type how to make coffee here, and we're going to click on get results. So what we're doing is we're basically telling Google, give us more ideas like this keyword here. Okay, you can see Google gives us a lot of ideas. You can see how to make, so this is the one here. Just above this is your main keyword that you searched for, and below this are all the derivatives: how to make iced coffee, how to make cold brew coffee, how to use a French press, how to make a black coffee, and so on and so forth, right? Now, first thing I'm going to do here is, like I mentioned before, in this example, we don't need to go localized, right? So I'm just going to remove India from here and let this be worldwide, so we get a more accurate figure here. One thing I should point out is that these days, and to be frank, this has been happening for quite some time, you see these ranges, right? If you remember Neil Patel's Uber Suggest tool, which I showed you in the last video, that shows you the exact number here, right? Google also used to show you the exact number, but what they have done since the last few years is they only show the exact number to people who spend a lot of money on Google Ads. So if you're like a regular customer of you and you use Google Ads a lot, it's actually going to show you that proper figure. But trust me, it's not such a big deal. Yes, when you go really advanced, it does help if you actually see the number, but then you also have to spend the money here. That's why some other tools which I will be showing you later will do this job also. But right now I'm just using Keyword Planner to just keep things very simple. Okay, so I've written this. Now, first thing what we'll do here is, when it comes to average monthly searches, we'll just sort this. Okay, so just click on it so that you see this down arrow. That means now all the results that are here, they're basically sorted in a descending order with the average monthly searches on the higher side, and then it keeps on going less and less. Now, usually, okay, anything like this where you're seeing a very high number, and especially where you're seeing competition, even though we learned that competition relates more to ads, but if it's a very high number and it says competition high, it's also bad for SEO, because that means these keywords are already taken by a big business. Usually, yes, you can see that one or two words have been added, but they're not really long tail keywords. Okay, so the trick here is usually for a newer website is to, I would say, sometimes you can find golden keywords which really have a lot of volume and can have low competition. But right now, just to keep things simple and keep moving fast, what we're looking for is something which kind of gets a bit longer, and actually the search volume decreases a bit. Okay, because that's usually where you find low competition. Okay, because usually if the average monthly search is too high, even if it's long, you can try to research about it by putting it in Uber Suggest and all, and see what the difficulty score of that also is. Sometimes you might find a hidden golden keyword, but usually what I've seen is it's going to be difficult. Okay, so right now, just to save time, what I can do is let's start looking at keywords which are somewhere in the range of 1,000 to 10,000, or even slightly lesser than that. Okay, so you can see now they slightly become more specific also. That's another characteristics of long tail keywords. This, instead of just saying how to make coffee, or even the other earlier results, we saw something, just a very small variation, like how to make iced coffee, but that's still not enough. Looking for something where things start to get more specific. For example, look at this: how to make iced coffee with instant coffee. That's a very specific query, which is definitely going to have a way lesser competition if you were to write an optimized article on this as opposed to writing on this. And we're actually going to be seeing the whole process of how to judge that competition in a very detailed way also. But right now, just my whole point in this video is just to make you understand what exactly are long tail keywords. You'll kind of get an idea. They're very specific with slightly longer queries. That's what you have to understand, because that's where the competition is slightly lesser. Okay, let's try to look at more. So you can see here also how to make black coffee for weight loss. It's a very specific query. Compare this with how to make coffee. This can mean so many things. It'll be very tough to rank for this. Okay, but somebody here literally is asking, first of all, not just any coffee. They're saying how to make black coffee, and also they're saying that I want it for weight loss. So imagine writing an article like this. You'll be very confused also. Even it'll be tough to write an article like this. But something to write like this will be, first of all, easier. And this is also going to have a slightly lower competition, like we're going to see in some time from now. Okay, so these are good long tail keywords, but ultimately I'm just judging right now by seeing them, that you cannot judge it like that. We will put it through a tool like Ubersuggest. I'm going to show you other tools also. We'll exactly come to know when we put this there that what is the SEO or the keyword difficulty. Okay, that will be the time when you actually see. But right now, let's just look at some more long tail keywords like how to make vanilla sweet cream cold foam. So this is also, I think, in some way related to coffee making, but also you have to see that it should be within your niche. So maybe if it starts to go more towards ice cream side, you may not want to cover it. That's a business decision, right? Then you can see if we go down here, pretty good ones. I'm missing out some because I want to be just fast. You can see how to brew coffee without a coffee maker. This can also be a good. So what you can do is you can keep copying this, to like a text file or an Excel sheet file. That's how it's usually done. But before I get into all that, my whole point is to make you understand how the SEO analysis goes, because right now you don't even know that, right? So I'm not going to do this copying pasting thing right now. We're just focusing on long tail keywords right now. You see how to make a white chocolate mocha. That's also fine. Then you can also go to the next tab where you can see now the number will start to go down, right, after some time. And you can see here some good keywords. How to make a latte with espresso machine. That's also very specific. How to make Starbucks vanilla sweet cold foam. Right? Just imagine if you were to write an article this, I don't even need to put this through it's so specific that I can just bet that there are very few businesses which are optimizing or writing content on exactly this topic. So 100% this topic will be much better. And you can just see that it still has a pretty decent amount of average monthly searches. If you were to write an article on this, there's a good chance that there will be no competition. You can start ranking on top and start getting this traffic. Yes, it changes what you have to write. Your research changes because of this, but that's what long tail keywords do. They change the way you work and just makes your whole process very efficient. Okay. And you can see, even you can go down to the next part here. We start to get into now this 100 to 1K range also. And this is where things will become even more specific, because just try to understand. Remember, if it's more specific, more long tail, what does it mean? That fewer people are also typing it, right? That's another way to judge a long tail keyword. That as the volume decreases, it automatically means we're looking at a more specific keyword, because you wouldn't type, not many people would type such a long keyword like how to make whipped coffee without instant coffee, whereas a lot of people will type this, right? So this is also an indication whether this is a long tail keyword or not, whether you're getting towards something specific or not, right? So this is when the volume decreases. I'm going to repeat this, and I know because sometimes I just have to do that in order to make you understand. SEO is slightly technical, okay? So sometimes as the average monthly searches go down, that's not a bad thing, because you're looking at low competitive keywords now. Okay, you can see how to make this, and then let's just look at one more. Now you should also not get to like even 100 to 1K is fine. You can definitely start looking at. Point is, can you see how much scope you have? The moment we start looking at long tail, so many ideas are opened up for content. We must have browsed through at least good 50 keywords that you can write articles on. Those are 50 proper content articles on your website, instead of just going for this and getting nothing, right? But also don't go too less. For example, let's say till 100 to 1K is fine. But let's say if you keep going out, we've actually said this worldwide, so it might take some time. But I would probably tell you to avoid something when it goes to I think it's going to take a long time before we reach there. But let's say if it starts showing after some time 1-200, that might be too low. Yes, that might be even more specific, even more long tail, but then also there are not enough people typing, right? So I think till 100 to 1K is fine. 1K to 10K is obviously better. And 10K to 100K, usually like we've seen, will be slightly of a higher competition. So what I've done now is that just to save time, okay, what I've done here is that I have these 4 keywords that I picked almost kind of randomly from some out in the 10K to 100 range, some are in the 1 to 100K range. But you can see how to make coffee without a machine, how to make black coffee for weight loss. I think we'd seen this one. How to make cappuccino at home without machine, how to make a latte with instant coffee. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to put all 4 of these into the keyword tool like Uber suggest, or I might show you something else also. And we're actually going to see that, yes, we think right now that these are long tail keywords, but are they actually? Because they'll only be long tail and good quality long tail keywords if those tools tell us that the SEO difficulty or the ranking difficulty or the keyword difficulty is low for them. So we're going to take 4 of these, put all 4 through the test, and the one which gives us the best result, the least difficulty to rank, is the one that we'll be going for when it comes to learning about how to optimize, write an optimized or SEO optimized content on our website. Because remember, one good thing about all these keywords, they do have significant volume. So we know a lot of people are typing. It's just the task to find the winner between these 4. That's what we're going to do in the next video. So I'll see you there. Bye for now.